Hello friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel, Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. The Franchise Stars Football League playoffs for year one of the FSFL come to you live from Minnesota, where the Atlanta Falcons visit the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Wildcard game. These two teams met back in Week 8, the Vikings taking a 28-21 victory. They got to Matt Ryan 4 times for sacks in that game. Now they will try to replicate the feat. That was on the road. This time they get home cooking here in Minnesota. Mike Smith coaches the Falcons, Bud Grant coaches the Vikings. Big for the Vikings. They totally believe that their defense is going to show up. Early season, the defense, as tough as it is, they did have a tendency to kind of shoot themselves in the foot, giving up the big play. The Vikings underperformed in the first half of the year, but the NFC North was very weak. The Packers underachieved. The Lions and the Bears, frankly, were terrible. And the Vikings reaped the benefits of that. They clinched the North Division. And now they're going to look to carry, or be carried, to Legends Bowl 1 by a terrific defense and the hopefully inspired play of Kirk Cousins, who has been solid but erratic during the season. Blair Walsh puts the opening kickoff into the Atlanta end zone. It's down, and Matt Ryan and the Falcons will start things off. Ryan, 34 touchdowns during the year, 4,800 yards passing in Mike Smith's pass-heavy offense. Did throw the 22 picks, though. Ryan has had bouts of inaccuracy during the season. Shotgun, Ryan starts off there. He looks to the right-hand side, incomplete. Again, if you're new to the Franchise Stars Football League, first and most importantly, thank you for tuning in and checking out the Legend Sports Universe and the FSFL project. I have created all these players myself, designed all the ratings. The first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, I still had to do some tweaking of things as I got this thing going, so interception numbers throughout the league are a little bit high. As what interceptions and sacks were a little bit high early on. That's since been balanced out, and things are humming along nicely here. But you'll see a lot of quarterbacks in the league probably have interception totals a little bit heavier than what would be ideally the case and what will be the case in future seasons. Delay of game there for the Falcons, so that's going to set them back. 3rd and 5 from the 30. Ryan stands in the pocket, looks, fires, complete. Out across midfield into Minnesota territory. That's Alfred Jenkins with the reception. Jenkins gets 22 on the play, and the Falcons are on the move. Coverage was there. Bryant was with them. But Ryan threads the needle. 1st and 10 for the Falcons, minute and a half in to this NFC Wildcard game. Handoff to the near side. Michael Turner picks up 3 and is brought down. Jeff Simon on the stop for the Vikings. Second and 7. There's a man in motion. Another handoff. It's Turner again. He's got a first down inside the 40. Turner picks up 9 there, down to the 36. So Michael Turner the burner, getting things going here for the Falcons. Joey Browner comes up for the stop. But the chains will move again for Atlanta. Handoff Gerald Riggs. There's nothing there. Carl Eller brings them down for a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 from the 37. Handoff. Turner tries to get to the outside. Good support from Harrison Smith. Brings him down. It's a pickup of 4. Down to the 33. 3rd and 8. 4 wide for the Falcons here. Ryan in the shotgun. Stands in. Looks left-hand side. Incomplete. Winfield in the coverage. So it would be a 50-yard field goal attempt from Younghoe Koo. We'll see if they go for that, and they will. The Falcons trying to get 3 on the opening drive. Koo's kick is up, and it is wide right. So Koo gets a good hold of it. He had plenty of distance. But that ball, he kicked it from the right hash mark, and he basically kicked it perfectly straight. No hook at all on that one. It stays to the right of the upright, and the Vikings come out of it unscathed. So now Kirk Cousins and the Vikings get their first crack at it. Hand off Dalvin Cook. Cook slips a tackle. Good job there by Cook. He'll pick up 8. Out to the 49. It'll be 2nd and 2. Deion Sanders and Randy Moss figure to be locked in a battle throughout this game. Cousins, handoff. Brown, first down. Inside the Atlanta 45. Brown picks up 9. Font on the stop for Atlanta. Can Cousins keep from making the big mistake? Handoff. Looking for something. There's nothing there from Michael Bennett. He'll lose a couple. Tony Casillas gets through for the stop for Atlanta. Bennett missed several weeks with injury during the season. Dalvin Cook got the bulk of the load there, but ideally for Bud Grant's offense, it's a two-headed monster of sorts between Bennett and Cook. Cousins looks there for Bennett out of the backfield, who takes a shot from Williams. It'll be 3rd and 12. Cousins drops back. Now he steps up, rolling to the right. Pressure coming from the weak side. Cousins is brought down by Claude Humphrey. So Cousins probably had some room to go there. He wasn't going to get the first down. And Cousins looked a little bit shaken up at the end of that play. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation. Harry Newsome comes on to punt for Minnesota. Brad Johnson, however, has started to throw on the Minnesota sideline. Deion Sanders brings that one out to the 25. And the Falcons will get back to work. 8:32 left here in the opening quarter. We're scoreless here in Minnesota. Turner the lone setback, 4 wide, man in motion here from Matt Ryan. Handoff Turner. Picks up a couple. To the 27. Second and 7 coming up. Bryant over the middle, incomplete. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 7. Ryan drops. He's looking. Looks to the near side. Complete near the marker. They'll say he got it. First down, Falcons. Burrow with the reception. Picks up 8. Needed 8. Slides his way. Good second effort there to get himself across the marker, but Grant not thrilled. Xavier Rhodes on the stop. Chains move for Atlanta. Coming up on the 7-minute mark here in the opening frame. Ryan over the middle. That one's complete. Out across the 45. Spotted at the 47. Michael Haynes picks up 12 there. His first reception of the game. Man in motion for Ryan. He's got to get that play off. He barely does. Hand off Michael Turner. Tries to go off tackle. There's nothing there. Only picks up a yard. To the 48, Chad Greenway comes up for the stop for the Vikings. Handoff. There's Gerald Riggs. Riggs picks up a yard. Michael Turner, like Michael Bennett for the Vikings, Turner missed some time this year as well. Gerald Riggs carried the load during that, and Riggs did a fine job for him. 3rd and 9 here. Ryan drops back. He's under pressure, and down he goes. Everson Griffen gets to him. Carl Eller was in there as well. So Ryan goes down. First sack for this Vikings defense. John Randle dives at the legs of Ryan. Gets the full pressure from that Vikings defense, and the punting unit comes on. High arcing kick. Room to return, though, out across the 30. Out to the 34 from Jake Reed, and that's where the Vikings will take over, and Brad Johnson is coming into the game for Minnesota. So whatever the ailment is for Kirk Cousins, it's keeping him out at least for the moment. So Brad Johnson comes in to lead the Vikings. Hand off Dalvin Cook. Cook picks up 4 out to the 38. There are people who thought that Johnson should have been the starter over Cousins anyway. Hand off Brown. Picks up 3 out to the 41. It'll be 3rd and 3. John Zook on the stop for the Falcons. High formation behind Johnson. Hand off, he gives it to Brown again, and Brown has the first down. Out to the 45, that'll move the chains. They give to Brown again, so the Vikings trying to grind it out here against this Falcons defense. Brown a little slow to get up there, but he stays in the game, 2nd and 8. Hand off Bennett. Not too much there. This is a ground-heavy offense for Bud Grant, but they certainly throw the ball plenty. Third and 6. Johnson stands in. Johnson gets wrapped up. He was going to throw. Johnson pulls it down. And he's brought down for the sack. And John Zook with the sack. But John Zook is now heading down the tunnel. So Zook may have injured himself there. On the sack of Brad Johnson, the Vikings will punt. But Zook, a solid part of this Falcons defense. Fair catch called by Sanders. He doesn't get the opportunity for the return there. So Ryan will get back to work. We're still scoreless. 54 seconds left here in the first quarter. Handoff. Turner to the outside. He gets swarmed. Browner, the first guy to hit him. He picks up 5. Out to the 23. It's 2nd and 5. Motion on the play. Ryan drops. Stands in, looks over the middle. Complete near the marker. They'll say he got the first down. Alfred Jenkins takes a shot after the reception. But he caught it past the marker, and that's where it's spotted as we come to the end of the first quarter. No score here in Minnesota. Falcons and Vikings NFC Wildcard game. As we get ready to start quarter number 2. Neither offense has gotten anything going to this point. And there's movement there. That's going to be a false start on the Vikings. So that'll set the Vikings back 5, back to their 23. It'll be 1st and 15. Handoff Turner. Turner slashes up the middle. Good run from Turner. Jukes a defender. Gets out across the 40 to the 42. 7 carries, 44 yards. So far from Michael Turner. Lonnie Warwick ultimately brings him down. So 1st and 10 from the 42. Handoff. That's Tevin Coleman, his first carry of the game. He picks up a pair. It'll be 2nd and 8. Handoff Turner. Shakes one tackler, tries to find something else outside. Not too much there. He'll find 3. It's 3rd and 5 from the 47. Ryan drops, looks, left-hand side, complete. That's Michael Haynes down inside the 45. Ryan 6 of 9 for 68 yards to this point. Bobby Bryant on the stop. Hand off Turner, up the middle. He takes a shot. John Randle basically clotheslines him across the chest and brings him down. Good tackle there from Randle. It's 2nd and 9. Cross back, pressure. Down he goes, and there's Randle with the sack. 2nd sack for the Vikings. Ryan dragged down at the 49. Again, the Vikings sacked Ryan 4 times in that win back in Week 8. And once again, they're going to put pressure on here. This front 4 for the Vikings. Eller, Page, Randle, Williams, Everson, Griffen, Keith Millard, who's injured. They are loaded up front. Ryan stands in. Cross back. Pressure is coming on him again. He goes to throw and he's hit. Incomplete. Chad Greenway gets to him there. They get the linebacker blitz on top of the line. And the Falcons will have to punt. Out of bounds at the 19, and it's still Brad Johnson. We have not gotten word what the injury is exactly to Kirk Cousins. Cousins knocked out of this game after the sack by Claude Humphrey. It wasn't a high-impact sack. It was rolling out, and Humphrey dragged him down from behind. Vikings have only thrown the ball once in this game. Pitch to Bennett. Bennett goes to get the outside, tries to cut it back. Nothing is there. Loss on the play. 3rd and 8. Now Johnson looks to throw. Quickie complete out across the 30. 10-yard pickup. Santuchenko with the reception. Moves things out to the 31. Pitch to Bennett. They try that same play again, and it doesn't work here either. So they go to the well again. The same play they ran a couple plays ago. Bob Glazebrook comes up to stop Bennett in the backfield, and Michael Bennett has gotten nothing going. The Falcons defense up to the task, trying to measure up to this Vikings defense. Gets all the notoriety. Johnson over the middle, complete. There's Randy Moss, his first catch of the game. And if you want to get Moss open, that's probably what they're going to have to do today. Run some slants with Moss. Because Deion Sanders is not going to let Randy Moss do a heck of a lot. 3rd and 4. They go to the outside with Dalvin Cook at the first down and more. Dalvin Cook racing down the sideline. Deion Sanders is going to cut him off. But it's a big run for Dalvin Cook down to the Falcons 14. Our first offensive play of note in the game comes midway through quarter number 2. Dalvin Cook down the sideline. Sanders comes over, to his credit, to finally catch up to him. But Dalvin Cook brings it down to the Atlanta 14, and the crowd here in Minnesota comes alive. I formation behind Johnson. Handoff. Osborne picks up 3, his first carry of the game. It'll be 2nd and 7. Handoff. Bennett. Nothing doing there. Credit to Deion Sanders. Sanders is the one who squares him up there and holds him until help can arrive. Good tackle there from Sanders. Not known for such a thing. 3rd and 5 from the 9. Johnson drops back. Stands in, looks. Doesn't like what he sees, rolls. He takes a hit from behind from Humphrey, and that one goes out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. And Randall McDaniel hobbling off the field. I know that's some sort of a leg injury. Keep an eye on that one. So Blair Walsh from 26 yards will try to get the first points of the game on the board here. The kick is up and good. So Minnesota strikes first midway through quarter number 2, 3-0 Vikings. What has been a defensive battle here in Minnesota. Kickoff taken in the end zone. They're going to run it out, though. Out across the 20. Out to about the 25. And that's where the Falcons will take over. Michael Turner, 9 carries for 48 yards to this point. Turner's had a good half. Ryan stands in, looks left-hand side. Great throw from Ryan. Oh, that's a beauty. Calvin Ridley reels it in. Great catch, great throw. Ryan to Ridley, first down for the Falcons out at the 47. 4 wide for Atlanta here. Turner the lone setback. Ryan calls for motion. He's got to get that play off, and he barely does. Turner takes a shot. Picks up a couple. He gets throttled. I believe that was Everson Griffen. Oh, excuse me, that was Winfield who was up on the line there. 2nd and 8. And off Turner, and again they get to him. Bringing the secondary up for some run support now on defense for Minnesota. Chad Greenway is there. Harrison Smith, the safety, knifed his way through. Get involved in that play as well. It's 3rd and 8 for Atlanta. Ryan, pressure up the middle, and down he goes. And once again, it's John Randle getting in there. He had help. I'm going to wait to see the replay to see who was there with Randle. Randle and Griffen. I think that's going to be Randle's sack, though. But he had Carl Eller coming from the other side. Just a terrific job by this Vikings defense, who get to Ryan for the 3rd time here in the first half. Punting unit comes on again. Atlanta is going to have to find a way to neutralize that line. Easier said than done. They are the best front 4 in the game. 2:34 left in the half. 3-0 Vikings, who get the ball back. Kirk Cousins knocked out of the game on the Claude Humphrey sack earlier on. Brad Johnson is in his stead. Starting from the 29, pitch wide. Bennett gets to the outside across the 30. He's brought down at the 31. Bennett has 6 carries from -1 yards. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. So our 4th wild card game of year 1 here of the FSFL. The most defensive by a wide margin here. 3-0 Vikings, but they're looking for more here. Pass there complete, out across the 40 to the 47. Ahmad Rashad. Rashad missed some time with injury this year. He has his first catch of the game. He picks up 16 on the play. Dropping back is Johnson. Johnson to the sideline. It's complete. Short pickup there of 6. Jermaine Wiggins, his first catch of the game. Back-to-back passes from a Vikings offense that has been very run-heavy here. They drop back to pass again. Brad Johnson, slant over the middle, complete. Once again, it's Ahmad Rashad. He gets down to the 30. So Johnson's now 5 of 6. And the Vikings are on the move again. And if you're Atlanta, at a minimum here, you've got to hold them to a field goal. You don't want to go into the tunnel down 2 scores. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Johnson drops. Looks. Right sideline, near the sideline, it's complete. It's Jake Reed. Reed's first catch. Picks up 11, gets out of bounds. Down to the 19, 52 seconds left on the clock. Johnson again throwing. And again, it's a drag over the middle, and that one's going into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Vasanthi Shienko in for the score. And the Vikings take Now, with the extra point, a 10-0 lead. 6 plays, 71 yards. Sorry there was no replay there. It doesn't show the replay on a play where there was an injury, and apparently Mick Tingelhoff got dinged up a bit for the Vikings there. So it's 10-0 Minnesota. The Falcons have been kept off the board in the first half. This Vikings defense is what's going to carry them. The offense simply needs to not make mistakes. So far, they have not. Ryan drops back. Ryan's been sacked 3 times already. Pass there, incomplete. He's 7 of 12. Ryan's been good when he's been able to get the ball off. Remember, the Vikings have 3 timeouts left here, so if they get the ball back, they might be able to do a little something with it. That's why one of the reasons why the Falcons are running their offense. So now with that completion, the Falcons are actually the team that calls the timeout. Ryan hits Calvin Ridley out to the 33. Ryan over the middle, complete. Out near midfield, they'll take their second timeout. Trying to get into range for a Younghoe Koo field goal attempt. Ryan to the right-hand side, caught, complete. He's not going to get out of bounds, though. Haynes makes the catch. They're going to have to get up there now. They're going to take the timeout. They don't want to chance it. So they're at the 33. They're out of timeouts. You can try to run a play here on an out route and hope that you can get it done, but they're not going to wait. Koo's going to come on for the 50-yard attempt. He missed from 51 earlier. From 50 here, he puts it through. So the Falcons do a good job of getting themselves on the board there. Ryan, 3 for 3 to get them down the field quickly. A little bit of a letdown there by the Vikings defense late in the half. And the Falcons a bit conservative there that they didn't try for another play. But again, they didn't want to get caught running out of time. Vikings will run it here. Brown with the carry out to the 37, and that will take us into the half. 10-3 Vikings, the Vikings defense doing what they do. Falcons trying to find a way through. 10-3 Minnesota as we head into the tunnel. Checking out around the league. Game we already saw, the Cowboys visiting the Eagles. The Eagles defeated Dallas 31-26. Great game there in Philly. Bucs and Saints yet to play. On the AFC side, the Raiders ended the Jacksonville Jaguars' hopes for a Cinderella story. So the Raiders picked up the 20-18 victory there in Oakland, and the Buffalo Bills turned aside a gutty effort by a Patriots squad without Tom Brady. Mac Jones was solid in that game, but the Bills got it done. 31-24 up in Buffalo. So the Bills will head to Oakland on the AFC side. In the next round, the top-seeded Oilers await the winner of the Browns and Chiefs from Cleveland. That'll be the next game streamed here on the channel. League's leading rusher and leading MVP candidate, Jim Brown, will try to lead the Browns against a very tough Chiefs team. So here we are, just underway here in quarter number 3. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Vikings start the second half with the ball. There's Michael Bennett, and positive yardage has been a rarity for Bennett. The Falcons have done a very nice job defensively here. Randy Moss has been limited to 1 catch by Deion Sanders to this point. He's also had Marcus Griffen in coverage a little bit. Pass there is complete. There's Adam Thielen. That's Thielen's first catch of the game, and Kirk Cousins is back in. Again, Cousins knocked out in the first half on the sack from Claude Humphrey. Brad Johnson did a fine job in his stead, but Kirk Cousins is back in the game for Minnesota. Hits Adam Thielen there out to the 42. Handoff. Bennett looks for a little bit of room. There's not much there. Big mob scene. He's fighting his way. But Bennett gets a couple, and that's it. 2nd and 8 from the 44. Cousins looks, slant, complete. Down inside the 40, there's Moss. Moss has 2 catches on the game. Both of them are on slant routes like that. See if they can open up something with Moss working on Sanders. Hand off Brown. Not anything there. It'll be 2nd and 10. 6 carries, 27 yards. Ted Brown so far. Tommy Nobis on the stop for the Falcons. Dropping back. Cousins fires over the middle. Complete. There's Moss again. Down inside the 20. So Randy Moss, only 1 catch in the first half, has a pair here on the opening drive of the second half. Randy Moss down inside the 20. The Vikings on the move here to open up the third quarter. I formation, Cook the deep back. Moss is now on the near side, locked up against Sanders. Dalvin Cook, and the Falcons are all over him. The Falcons' run defense has been terrific, except for the one that Dalvin Cook broke, which set up the touchdown. Loss of 2 there, 2nd and 12. Cousins steps up, and Cousins is going to keep it. Gives himself up, but dives down in. They're going to spot him at the 12 where the knee touched, so it's 3rd and 6. Dropping back. Cousins stands in, looks, rolls right. Here comes Humphrey again. Hits him, and the ball's loose. The ball is loose. The Vikings have recovered. Claude Humphrey gets Kirk Cousins for the 2nd time. The ball comes out. But fortunately for Minnesota, they're able to recover. But Nobis on the tackle after the fumble. Okay, I was going to say, that wasn't Nobis' sack. So Claude Humphrey has his 2nd sack, and that'll limit the Vikings to a 40-yard field goal attempt here from Blair Walsh to try to lift the lead back up to 10, and Walsh hits it. So 13-3 Minnesota. .807 left in quarter number 3 as Walsh kicks off. Taken from the 2. Out across the 20. And Matt Ryan and company will get their first drive of the second half. Ryan stands in. Ryan, pressure. Ryan rolls out. He's going to throw this one away. Incomplete from Ryan. It's 2nd and 10. Ryan drops. Pass over the middle behind the man and a shot to boot. 3rd and 10. And in motion. Ryan looks. Pass complete at the marker. That's Haynes. Out across the 35 to the 36 and a first down. 4th catch of the game from Michael Haynes. Xavier Rhodes on the stop. But the chains will move for Atlanta. Loaded set here for the Falcons. Hand off Turner. Goes behind the beef there and nothing happens. Loses a yard. Chad Greenway on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 11. Delay. Hand off there. Out across the 40. Oh, and a big hit. Tevin Coleman pays the price. Bryant held him. I think Bryant's getting credit for the tackle, but I believe that was Scott Studwell who came over and laid a shot on Tevin Coleman. Pass there from Ryan, misses the mark, incomplete. And the Falcons will have to punt again. So the Minnesota defense We've talked about it a great deal. And they are living up to billing here in the NFC Wildcard game. Falcons, a very strong offense, have gotten nothing done so far today. Here's Jake Reed. Jake Reed on the punt. Jake Reed down the sideline. Jake Reed. Reed's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Reed. And the Vikings have blown it open. Special teams have been a story so far in the postseason. We've had a few kickoff returns. Kelvin Martin in the Cowboys game against the Eagles brought 2 kickoffs back. We had a kickoff return from C.J. Spiller for the Bills in their win over the Patriots. And now Jake Reed takes a punt the distance, 20-3 Vikings. And that is a kick in the mouth to Atlanta. Big break there for Jake Reed to blow this one open. It's now a 17-point Vikings lead, 5:33 left in the third. Kickoff taken at the 1. Throw it out across the 20 and stopped at the 22. So now the Falcons have some work to do, and they're going to have to take some chances. Down 17, there's certainly time, but the Vikings have locked the Falcons down. From the weak side, and down he goes. Turner brought down by Williams. Kevin Williams with the stop. It's 2nd and 13, a loss of 3. Handoff. Turner picks up a few. He'll get out to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 7. Harrison Smith comes up for the stop for Minnesota. Ryan is in the shotgun. Stands, looks, pass, caught, near the marker. It'll be good for the first down. Alfred Jenkins reels it in. 3rd catch of the game for Jenkins. Jenkins and Haynes, a very good wide receiver tandem. He's gotten a few catches today, but the Vikings have limited the big play. 3.5 minutes left in quarter number 3. Ryan, pass, incomplete. That one's off the mark. Bobby Bryant having some words with Jenkins there. Jaw jacking a bit at the end of that play. Ryan changing things up at the line. They go to the handoff. There's Gerald Riggs. First down for Riggs. Good run there out to the 45. Joey Browner on the stop. First and 10 for the Falcons as the chains move. Ryan stands in. Pass. Looks incomplete. Ryan 12 of 22 on the day. Handoff there to Riggs. Riggs looks for an opening. He doesn't get one. John Randle grabs him and brings him down. 3rd and 10 has become up on 2 minutes left in the third. Shotgun for Ryan. Pressure up the middle. Nobody even blocks him. Everson Griffen gets right through for the sack. 4th sack for the Vikings. Down goes Ryan back at the 34. And we mentioned the Vikings defeated the Falcons 28-21 in Week 8. They got to Ryan 4 times in that game. They've gotten to him 4 more here today. And the Falcons will have to punt. So as you come near the end of this third quarter, the Vikings have a chance to put this game away. (20-3) Minnesota, minute 20 left in the third. Vikings defense has been terrific. Handoff. Bennett up the middle, picks up 2. To their credit, the Falcons defense has been terrific too. Again, Minnesota has the punt return from Jake Reed. Other than that, it's the 1 touchdown and a pair of field goals for Minnesota. But the Falcons offense has not been able to get anything on track here against the Vikings. And off there to Brown, stopped by Nobis. It's 3rd and 8. We'll see if they get off one more play before the third quarter comes to a close. And they do. Cousins drops back, fires over the middle, complete. There's Adam Thielen out across the 40 to the 43. Cousins now 4 of 5. It's funny, Brad Johnson, when he was in for Cousins being hurt, Johnson actually threw more passes than Cousins has to this point. But no reason to mess with success. It's 20 to 3 Minnesota as we head to quarter number 4. Handoff, Bennett picks up 3. 11 carries for 11 yards from Michael Bennett. Tell you, the Falcons' run defense has really done a terrific job. Dalvin Cook broke that 1 carry, but other than that, Minnesota has not been able to find anything on the ground. Handoff, Ted Brown. Brown, 8 carries for 31 yards. He's done a decent job. He's gotten the ball a little more than usual today. Brown carries a bit, but usually does not get the ball that much. He may get double-digit carries by the time this one's done. That doesn't usually happen. It's usually Bennett and Cook. There's Bennett, first down to the 46, and Don Hanson, Falcons linebacker, comes up a bit shaken, and Hanson is going down the tunnel for Atlanta. Minnesota grinding this one out on the ground against the Falcons. Dalvin Cook up the middle, inside the 45 to the 42. It'll be 2nd and 7. 6 carries, 66 yards for Dalvin Cook. Most of those yards on the 1 carry. Handoff, there's Brown again. Fights his way, just a conglomerate of bodies there. Doesn't yield much. Picks up a yard. Williams on the stop. It'll be 3rd and 6. Cousins drops back. Swings it out into the flat. Complete to Bennett, who gets to the first down marker. And Claude Humphrey now looks dinged up, and that is the last thing the Falcons need. Humphrey will not go down the tunnel. He just goes over to the bench, and you can see he's keeping his helmet in his hand. Nobody's taking his helmet away from him. Humphrey's going to want to get back in this game, but for now, he is checked out. Vikings on the move at the Atlanta 35. Here's Cook. Fights his way down to the 30. Pick up a 5 there. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Minnesota. Hand off to Brown. Slips 1 tackle, but then the Falcons defense swarms him. He fights his way for 3. 3rd and 2 from the 27. Big 3rd down here for this Atlanta defense. Handoff. Bennett tries to get to the outside. He does. First down and more. Down inside the 20. Down inside the 10. Michael Bennett gets down inside the 5 to the 4. Bennett's best run of the game is 1st and goal set up here for the Vikings. And the Falcons defense looks like it's starting to wear down perhaps a little bit. They've been terrific, as we said. But just the Vikings just grinding this one out. First and goal. Cousins is going to throw. End zone. Touchdown. Jermaine Wiggins with the touchdown reception, and the Vikings are in total control here in Minnesota. Cousins hits his man. A little surprised they threw it in that situation, given how run-heavy they've been on the day. But again, the run sets up the pass, and that's what's happened. Blair Walsh here with the extra point. So after 3 nip-and-tuck games in the first 3 wildcard matchups, we have domination going on here in the 4th. Minnesota all over the Falcons, 27-3. Nobody's going to want to deal with this Vikings defense. The 49ers are the best team in the NFC. The Eagles are very, very good. But this Vikings team can take you off your game. Perhaps better than any other team in the NFC and arguably the league. Again, big for the Vikings, no turnovers. That's been a bugaboo during the season. When Cousins plays a clean game, the Vikings are usually going to win. 1st and 10, completion there, Calvin Ridley. Out to the 37. Ryan in the gun, stands in the pocket, looks near side. Again, it's Ridley. Ryan, 14 of 24 for 176. Matt Ryan hasn't really done anything wrong in this one. But they just have not been able to convert medium yardage into points. Pressure and Ryan, down he goes. Carl Eller gets through, 5th sack of the game for this Vikings defense. And Carl Eller hammers Matt Ryan. No hope there for Ryan. I mean, Miss Alan Page may actually be hurt because I haven't even seen Alan Page on the field. Flag down there. It's a false start, I believe, on the Falcons, and it is. This pass rush can create a nerve situation. Pass, right side, incomplete. So the Falcons don't really have any room to punt here. 4th and 19 from their own 28. But they have to go for it. Ryan drops. Looks down the field. Deep ball down the left-hand side. It's caught. No! Oh, it hit him in the hands and he can't hold on. Alfred Jenkins. Along the sideline, Jenkins may have been worried a little bit about making sure his feet stayed in bounds. Can't make the play. And the last hope for the Falcons may have just fallen by the wayside. Handoff here, Dalvin Cook, down inside the 20. That'll bring up a 2nd and 2. And if you thought the Vikings had run the ball heavily to this point, I don't think you've seen anything yet. 2nd and 2 coming up here. Just grind this one away. And of course, as I say that, they throw somewhat inexplicably. Pass complete there to Randy Moss down inside the 10. 4th catch of the game from Moss, a modest 4 for 62. Deion Sanders has done a fine job on Moss so far. Cousins out into the flat. Complete to Bennett. Out into the 5, and Bennett gets up a little bit hobbled, and now Michael Bennett is going to go be checked out for the Vikings. That's not something they want to see. 33 carries, 17 passes for the Vikings. Bud Grant's offense grinding it out. Cousins steps up. Cousins is going to take it himself. Touchdown, Kirk Cousins. The middle opens up. Cousins sees the gap and scrambles into the end zone, and the route is on in Minnesota. Vikings making a statement here. Cousins sees things open up and takes it in himself. Blair Walsh for the extra point. 6:29 left in the game. It is all Minnesota, 34-3. A lot of criticism was levied. Remember, that NFC South has had, at one point late in the season, all 4 teams from the NFC South were slated to make the postseason. The NFC has been the lesser of the 2 conferences here in year 1 of the FSFL. The disappointment from the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys did manage to slip into the 7th seed, and the Packers in particular really kind of set the NFC picture a little bit on its ear this year. But the South, everybody was at 500 in that division. But a lot of people have said it's merely because those teams are all kind of equally mediocre. They beat up on themselves. And then they won the games they had to when they played against weaker opponents. You know, none of those teams, there's no 11 or 12 win team in that division. And there was thought that they might get exposed playing against the Vikings, Eagles, and 49ers. Of course, two of those teams will clash as the Bucs take on the Saints in the final wild card game. Ryan looks deep down the right-hand side, incomplete. 3rd and 4 from the 42. Four wide, Ryan in the shotgun. Looks left side, complete. First down, down into Minnesota territory, down inside the 40. There's Calvin Ridley again. I believe that's the 6th catch of the game for Ridley. 6 catches for 81 yards. Inside the 4-minute mark remaining here in the NFC Wildcard game. Again, next game on the channel, the Kansas City Chiefs head into Cleveland, tasked with stopping the machine that is Jim Brown. Brown, the league's leading rusher, 1,900 yards and change on the year. But the Chiefs, the offense is very solid. Their defense has been exceptional. Force a lot of mistakes. You would expect Cleveland to lean heavily on Brown in that one. That should be a fantastic matchup. Pass misses the mark, incomplete. 4th and 4 coming up for Atlanta. 2:58 left on the clock. Four wide for Ryan. He's got Riggs to his right. Ryan stands in. Looks over the middle. Complete. First down. Down inside the 15. Down near the 10. They'll spot it at the 11. Bailey with the catch. Stacey Bailey's first reception of the game. Picks up 22 on this one. As the clock continues to roll. Ryan looks. Another quick slant, complete. Pickup of 6, and Todd Wiener, the lineman, the tackle on the, I believe it's the left side for Atlanta. He's going to check out of this game. Banged and bruised in more ways than one here, the Atlanta Falcons. 2nd and 4. Ryan looks, end zone incomplete. Looking for Riggs to release there, and a bit of chatter and post-play extracurriculars there. Jeff Simon and Gerald Riggs. Not asking each other for dinner reservations. Ryan drops. Pressure's coming, and down he goes. And there's the answer. So Alan Page is active. He had just been a surprisingly quiet member of this Vikings defense today, but now Page gets in there for the sack. Who's going to come on for a field goal? I'm not really sure. I guess he may as well take points and then try the onside kick in a game that is, for all intents and purposes, over. Coe hits it. I don't remember if it's Coe or Koo. I actually think it's Coe. Hits it from 36, 34-6. No onside kick coming. The Falcons have no delusions of how this game is going to finish. Jake Reed, who had the big punt return earlier on, takes the kickoff out across the 20. Cousins handoff. Brown. Stopped at the line, 2nd and 10. Tommy Nobis comes up for the stop. No reason to stop the clock here. Handoff, there's Dalvin Cook. Cook up the middle. Shakes a tackler, and Cook breaks it. Out near the 40. 9 carries, 96 yards for Dalvin Cook. About 80 of those yards are on 2 carries. 1st and 10, moves the chains out to the 40. So the 3-seed Vikings will move on The Vikings will head to Philadelphia. In the next round, the top-seeded 49ers will await the winner of the Buccaneers and the Vikings. Buccaneers and the Saints, rather. Vikings and Eagles should be a terrific matchup. So Bud Grant and the Vikings issue the first beatdown of the FSFL postseason, a rout here at home against Mike Smith's Falcons. 34-6, the Vikings dominate here at home. 5 sacks for the Vikings defense. Kirk Cousins, terrific. While he was in there, again, Cousins was out for a while. Brad Johnson came in his stead, and Johnson did a terrific job as well. Matt Ryan, again, nothing wrong with Matt Ryan's day. We'll check out team stats first. Total offense, only 258 yards of offense there for the Falcons. 351 for the Vikings. That's not a huge total, especially when you put 34 points on the board. But holding the other team under 300, that is a good sign for the Vikings defense. Vikings went 5 of 6 in the red zone. They also took no penalties. Matt Ryan, 21 of 37 for 253. No picks, but no touchdowns. No picks at all in the game, actually. Cousins and Johnson combined 15 for 17 for 188 and 2 scores. An economical passing game from the Vikings. They also spread the wealth around. We'll get to the receivers in a minute, but they didn't have a pass longer than 23 yards in the game. This game was really exactly how the Vikings would script things to go. Clean play at the quarterback position, efficient running, and standout defense. And they got all of it today. Michael Turner, 14 for 52, led Atlanta. Michael Bennett, 13 for 37. Ted Brown, 12 for 37. The leading rusher for the Vikings was actually Dalvin Cook, 9 for 96. My exaggeration there, 80 yards on 2 of those, came on 2 of those carries. The long was 49. He had another one that was for just shy of 20. That was 65 yards or so. But the point still stands. Dalvin Cook. Nice change of pace work there on the receiving end. Calvin Ridley leads the way for the Falcons, 6 for 81. They're the top 3 receivers in the game. Randy Moss, 4 for 62. His long was 23. Amon Rashad, 2 for 33. But the 2 tight ends, Shanko and Jermaine Wiggins, caught both of the touchdowns. I mean, if you were the Falcons and you came in this game and you said Randy Moss would have 4 catches for 62 yards and Adam Thielen would only have 2 for 36, and you would limit Michael Bennett to less than 3 yards per carry, you'd have felt pretty good about things if you are the Falcons. But sometimes it goes deeper than the numbers. Tackles, Tommy Nobis, 15 for Atlanta. Bobby Bryant had 12. Most of those were assists. Solo tackle leaders. Deion Sanders actually had 9 tackles for the Falcons. How about that? On the sack front, Everson Griffen had 2. Randle and Eller each had 1.5. And Alan Page, it was actually 6 sacks for the Vikings. Alan Page added 1 as well. Claude Humphrey had a pair of sacks for the Falcons. Humphrey left that game with injury and did not return. John Zook also had a sack for them. So that will do it here from Minnesota. A dominant performance by the Vikings. And the Eagles are going to have to be careful. We'll see if the Eagles have LaShawn McCoy back for next week. I believe they are supposed to, although Wilbert Montgomery did a terrific job for Philadelphia against the Cowboys in their matchup. But that'll wrap things up for Minnesota. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in to the Legend Sports Universe. Bang that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't as of yet. And most importantly, be good to each other. And we'll talk soon. Vikings take down the Falcons. Big 34-6 in Minnesota.